All right, guys, so if you're like me, then your eyes are probably going to be glued to the news regarding what's happening with President Trump in the Senate impeachment trial. If there's a trial, that is, because some scholars don't even agree on whether or not they can actually take the impeachment to trial in the Senate while the president is not in office, right? So there's not even an agreement on that. However, the Democrats and the GOP are moving forward with this, or at least it seems they're moving forward with this, like this is 100% constitutional and that is going to happen. Now, McConnell is expected to begin the process on the 19th, a day before President Trump leaves office. And at this point, there's also been discussions about extending and pushing out the Senate trial for up to about 100 days in order to give Biden some recognition. Okay, and to also not get in the way of the agenda for the Biden administration within his first 100 days. So this whole impeachment process could drag out for the next 3 or 4 months. And the ironic part about this is that even though the Democrats are suggesting pushing this process out so that Joe can get some shine, what's actually really going to happen is there's going to be so much speculation that President Trump will still overshadow Joe Biden, no matter what. Okay? So, Sleepy Joe just has to accept the fact that he's always going to be in President Trump's shadow. Now, for us that are on the right, this impeachment is a huge deal because it is going to determine the future of the GOP. And I've made the argument multiple times that if they choose to convict the president in the Senate, giving the Democrats free rein to strip the president of his ability to run for office in the future, it is the end of the Republican Party as we know it. There will be a permanent fracture that I don't believe can be recovered for at least another decade. But before we get into that, my name is Greg Foreman and you're watching A Black Conservative Perspective. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share A Black Conservative Perspective, aka a leftist worst nightmare. You can also follow me on Twitter at GForemanBCP. Let's get it. All right, guys. Let's take a look at this conversation that Dr. Rand Paul had with Lauren Ingraham, in which they were discussing the effects that going to trial and convicting the president in the Senate and stripping his powers would have on the GOP. Take a listen.
But, I'm not against security. We do have to have adequate security, and I want people to be safe. I want the new president to be safe. I want the old president to be safe. And I think one of the questions with their crazy impeachment stuff that they're talking about is, are they going to strip President Trump of his security? I mean, can you imagine being an ex-president and being stripped of your security? So these people...
Yeah, if they vote to ban Trump from running from office again, he loses a lot of his presidential benefits, including his pension, his travel expenses, and a lot more other benefits that he would have. But I do think that he keeps Secret Service, or he has the option to do so, because honestly, I mean, every former president needs protection, right? So he's going to lose a lot of benefits. Now, I'm not sure exactly what Rand Paul is referencing in terms of President Trump losing his security, and it could be something they're talking about. I may need to look more into it, but he's definitely going to have a lot to lose if they choose to ban him from running again. A lot of his privileges that are enjoyed by former presidents are going to be stripped.
People are bitter, and the rancor and the bad taste they leave in the mouth. I just don't understand how they can be moving forward with this. And look, I'm not just saying I'm for everything President Trump has done. I was for seating the electors because I think Congress shouldn't overturn the state electors. But at the same time, the thing they're doing now is an overreaction. And if they think they're going to have a positive feeling from the public when they're going to go through a partisan impeachment again, I think that's absolutely insane and wrongheaded.
Are you surprised that your colleague Mitch McConnell is
I think that's 100% true, right? You think that the public, more importantly, the public that Rand Paul is talking about is the Republican Party. You think that the Republican Party is going to be okay if they move forward with this full process of impeachment? I think a lot of people are already upset. That's why there was calls to have Liz Cheney removed from leadership in the House among the GOP. Because this issue is that divisive. The GOP cannot afford to slip up on this issue. They need to go ahead and decide what they want to do in regards to this Senate trial and reveal their hand, because the more they hold out, I think the more people start to leave the GOP, because a lot of people came to the GOP solely because of Trump.
At least it's left open the possibility that there will be a Senate trial, and when Trump is already in Florida.
Well, I don't often get asked my advice from leadership how they should react, but my unsolicited suggestion would be this. They will destroy the Republican Party. If leadership is complicit with an impeachment, or if leadership votes for an impeachment, they will destroy the party. And like I say, I have opposed President Trump when I thought he was wrong. I've been for him when he was right. We did a lot of good things throughout the Trump presidency. And impeachment is purely a partisan thing. It's for these moral, I'm so much better than you and you're a bad person because I'm so moral.
100% right about that too. I mean, Rand Paul is hitting everything. Okay, he's hitting all the points. This whole impeachment thing is not about what President Trump actually did. It's not what it's about. Because if you read the speech, you can see that Trump said, march peacefully to the Capitol. So how can you impeach him and convict him of inciting a riot if he told them to go over there peacefully? Now, whether or not they listened to the president, that's on them. Those that went inside that building probably should be charged to the full extent of the law. They definitely should be charged to the full extent of the law, and they should suffer the consequences. Most conservatives, if not all the conservatives, have agreed with this. We all agree with that. So this thing is not about conscious, because if it was about conscious, you would consciously ask yourself, okay, did the president actually incite a riot? Did his speech incite a riot? Because that's what they're trying to impeach him on. The speech. Okay? They're not impeaching him on anything else. Just the speech. Did the president incite a riot? When you read the speech, he specifically says, go there peacefully. So these charges are garbage. And they're very weak. And they're also setting a dangerous precedent that could come back and bite the Democrats in the butt.
These are the kind of people that are going to do this. Look, I didn't agree with the fight that happened last week, and I voted against, overturning the election. But at the same time, the impeachment is a wrong-headed partisan notion. But if Republicans go along with it, it'll destroy the party. A third of the Republicans will leave the party.
Yeah,
I mean, this isn't about whether
donors.
It was a right or wrong debate. Yeah, it wasn't about. This
donors.
isn't about anymore about the Electoral College. It's about the future of the party and whether you're going to ostracize and excommunicate President Trump from the party. Well, guess what? Millions of his fans will leave as well.
American voters who supported President Trump will feel that they've been impeached and called a white supremacist too. Senator, thanks for what you're doing.
Lord Ingraham is 100% correct there. Rand Paul is 100% correct there. Matter of fact, I think Rand Paul is underestimating how many people may potentially leave the Republican Party. Right? The Republicans are facing this conundrum where they have a ton of people in their party that believe that the election is rigged. They don't believe their votes count. Then if you turn around and make it so Trump can never run again, what reason do basically over half of this party have to vote? The Republicans already lose the popular vote. Okay, every year they lose the popular vote. So you can't afford to be losing votes. You can't afford to just be throwing away votes. Again, I ask, why would anybody vote if they believe that the election was stolen and that Trump is not on the ballot? And they're also pissed off about the fact that you banned him from ever being on the ballot. They feel that you double-crossed Trump and that they feel that you didn't stand up for election integrity. That's how these people feel. Why would they ever vote for a Republican ever again? With that being said, the Republicans don't have a choice. I don't know what Mitch is trying to hold out on here. You cannot convict President Trump on this because you will let the Democrats ban him from running from office. You cannot do that. You will turn the president into a martyr, And that's going to make things even worse, right? If you're going to talk about people being radicalized, that's going to make it even worse. And if you want to talk about saving the party, there's no way to save the party. There's no way to keep the GOP together after that. You're done. At least, in my opinion, for the next 10 years. So Mitch McConnell can play these games with the media, but I ain't having the games. You cannot do this. The Republicans need to grow a backbone and say, listen, we condemn the actions that happened on the Capitol that day. We condemn that. We want to charge all of them to the full extent of the law. We condemn anybody that supports that. Those people are not supporters of our movement. Disavow those people. And say what you got to say about Trump. But do not vote to convict him in the Senate. Do not do it. It is going to be the nuke button on the party that's going to ensure that the Democrats will win for the next 10 years straight. I guarantee it. Demographics are not in the favor of Republicans. The social environment is not in favor of Republicans. Wall Street is now not in favor of Republicans. Republicans are starting to lose corporate donations. And then on top of that, you're going to permanently piss off half of your electorate. You can't recover from that. You cannot recover from that. So that's my opinion on that, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.